All right, guys, it's Dokkan time, and this is the Dokkan Time podcast, and this episode is, I don't even know, it's like episode 8 or 9 or something like that. Today's episode is going to be on primarily the player surveys. So, player surveys are something we don't get that often in the game, but it does seem after several times of actually submitting a majority of issues, sometimes some of those issues do bleed through, and they actually get to the development team, and the development team actually does take into consideration of what to do about the game. And today's podcast is basically going to be on centered around the topic of what you want to be changed. Unfortunately, I do not have a guest with me today, and that's fine. It's a little bit of a rough start. The recording of this podcast is the day of. It'll be posting instead of ahead of time. So everything's off a little bit about it, so I do apologize. But basically, I want to go over what are the primary changes people would want in the game. And I think there's a lot of different changes. I've made a couple posts on YouTube and over on Twitter and the Discord channel, and I've seen quite a few complaints. There is quite a few to go through. I'm trying to look over the camera and slightly over onto my notes. So one of the biggest things that I've found that people really want the change of is definitely name changes. Give me a sec here. I want to take a drink. Got to get that gamer subs in there. Yeah, got to get that gamer subs. Anyways, so name changes. The biggest name change that people were arguing with during just this last month for Worldwide Download Celebration in September was the corrupted Zamasu. So the new LR Tech fused Zamasu, as most know him as, he had shared the same name as the LR Intelligence Fusion Zamasu. Now, the problem with this is that, for one, it's not exactly the same state of what that Zamasu was in. Yes, he was a fused Zamasu, but the Tech LR is actually, well, he's a corrupted Zamasu. He's not necessarily just the freshly fusioned version of him. And it's very weird because I believe the same issue is actually also on the AGL version. Like, he starts at base Zamasu as a Kai Zamasu, and then he fuses into Fusion Zamasu, and that's fine. But then he also has that third transformation on the AGL EZA that goes into the corrupted state. So his name should be changed. And I believe there is only one corrupted Zamasu in the game, and I think that is the original Tech merged Zamasu. I could be wrong, but I swear his name was corrupted. But either way, the name should be changed just for the sake of the fact that villain teams, extreme units, desperately need the help. I mean, let's be real here. Extreme units are just some of the... They just need the most help in this game. They really do. They don't get the most support, and I get it because, you know, they're not the hero of the story. They're not they're not Goku. They're not Gohan. They're not Vegeta. They're not the selling point of a lot of the sales, and so I do get the understanding of why they don't want to put as much effort into it. But it's a name. All you would have to do to literally make everyone happy is literally go tick, 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 and you're done. All you had to do was write corrupted Zamasu. That's all you had to do. You didn't even have to call him fusion. You just had to write corrupted. That's all. And we know that there's no cap necessarily for the names. I mean, you have the atrocity of a name that is full Super Saiyan 4 power Goku. I mean, you have some really crazy, long, stupidly insane names. So I know for a fact that they can fit in merged, corrupted fusion Zamasu. They can fit that in there. And if they so wish, they could make it shorter, or they can increase the cap. I don't know. Well, maybe they can't increase the cap. That might be wildly a little bit out there, in all given honesty. But the thought is still there that they should change the names of some units. And here's another excellent example: frickin' Teen Gohan, the new superhero free to play AGL freaking Teen Gohan. The man, the man has a child. He has a wife. I mean, I know Saiyans age slower than normal mortals do, but I would say even if he's still in his 20s, I would say he's still not classified as a teen. I'm sure a lot of people love to say that they are, I'm still kind of a teenager until I've hit like 25 or something like that. Gohan's way past 25. He's way past 25. I would say that Goku is actually like, he's like in his 40s, 50s or something like that. He's pretty up there. Same with Vegeta. And Gohan should definitely be up there, especially since the fact that Gohan has been in the hyperbolic time chamber before. So he already gained a couple years in general. But yeah, the whole name changing, that's just a whole crazy topic. I will add one more thing to the topic before I switch to the next part of the changes that we would need. And that would be that I feel that maybe a Tenkaichi style of naming would be effective for some of these units that shared the same names, kind of like Turles. I mean, I know Turles pretty much, he's only got his movie. Unless we get into Dragon Ball Hero status, I mean, we're not really going to be changing his name. But my point is like Tenkaichi had the naming style of like Goku had a beginning, a middle, and an end kind of thing. You could potentially kind of try and name a couple units like that. You could try to name, like, if it's just a base Goku, just name it like Z Saga Goku or something, give the abbreviation so that you can still link it with another Goku or a Frieza or something like that, something of a similar named unit that needs the extra help. Goku doesn't, but Goku was just a good example for that. I would say units like Merge Zamasu and the Cell and some other units could definitely benefit from such a factor of name changing. We could just go into not necessarily a saga base, but maybe even have a second set of links that could be linked up. I mean, that's probably a little extra out there, but it's just something to think about. Something to make it so the name changes can happen, or something to not worry about the name changes. But anyways, let's move on to the next portion of my notes here. So we got the next biggest thing I found a lot of people were commenting about and arguing about, really wanting, was definitely Easy A's. So Easy A's, bro, Easy A's are a huge thing. Easy A's, they're a very large contributing factor into this game. So much so to the point that I would say that without Easy A's, a lot of the content of the game is just kind of dead. I mean, we look forward to Easy A's quite a bit. For instance, of the Worldwide Download Celebration, it revived completely dead units. The Intelligence Kai Zamasu, the AGL Kai, transforming AGL Zamasu. There's just several units that get revitalized with complete life that were just dead for years. Or we could also talk about the MVP Tournament of Power 17. I mean, he was never used for years after we had meta changes, and then he got some life in him after the 8th anniversary. But the problem is you see, now that we've already hit another meta curve, we've already hit a meta curve now, and even the units that have come out this year are struggling, and that's a problem. That's a huge problem, and they need to figure out something to fix Easy A's, because this whole Easy A problem is just, it's questioning why we're even bothering to Easy A some of these units. And I even see some like bigger names in the community, like even Goresh and Minato, that just straight up refuse to awaken some freaking easy A's that were just, they're just pointless, you know, because you don't get anything out of some of them. Some units are just straight up dead upon release. And although the easy A is obviously helpful to kind of use them in like maybe some non-crazy new content, that they can still be used in older base content, which is you know, it's nice. It's not terrible. It's not the worst thing in the world. But, you know, if a new Easy A comes out, your immediate thought process is, hey, I want to take it into the brand new events. That's kind of just where it lands. But then there's some units that just even after Easy A are just pretty much worthless. One that comes to mind is definitely the GT Cell and Frieza. We haven't even gotten them on global, but I can already tell you right now, I'm never going to use that unit still. I mean, they're just still not good enough. It's just how it is. They're just not good enough. You can force them to be used in a lot of older content. Sorry, I had to take a drink here. But I mean, you can force a lot of things. I mean, I make videos on finishing difficult content with Android 21. Android 21 is I'm sorry, waifu or not, she is not a suitable good unit for any of these content. You can obviously bring a unit in and just be good to go. Obviously, there's no issues there. But it's still not a good idea, you know? Like, there's no reason to actually do that. There's just no reason to bring some units into a fight other than just to say, oh, hey, they're there. I mean, I managed to get Android 21 through some of the like Dismal Future red zones, even on a no item run. You know, if RNG is in place, you can get through anything pretty much. But then there's just some Easy A's that are just absolutely worthless. And I mean, the Android 21s, the STR Android 21s Easy A's are pretty much pointless. They held no purpose into the at this point in the game. And for units like that have been Easy Aid for so long, you just question, what am I doing with this unit? Why do I even have it? Why do I keep it in my box? Why don't I just trash it or something? Well, most people view their collection as a collection. You know, it's a trophy thing. But at the same time, we don't really have any purpose to using all these different units in here. And I think they need to think of some way to make Easy A's better. They need to figure out some way to make them worth it. Personally speaking, if I wanted to if I was put on deck at Akatsuki to actually like tell me, how would you fix the Easy A problem? I would immediately and first and foremost tell them, just add more dupe paths. That's all you got to do. And they'll probably just be like, why would we do that? Well, because if people are complaining about the unit that much, let them go get dupes. I mean, there's plenty of units that have Easy A's that are regularly in the free red Dragonstone grab and blue Dragonstones throughout these like anniversary and worldwide. You know, you can grab these units for free almost, or they're in these big collection packs and they just come back one day. So they have like tons of them stacked up. But, you know, just increase the amount of paths. That's all you got to do. Give them more stat boosts. If I go look at Android 21 right now, Android 21, her base stats, she's with everything, she's got like 5,000 in the HP, 5,400 in attack, 4,600 in the defense. You know, I mean, she doesn't have insane, crazy passive boosts at a, you know, attack and defense 120%. You know, most units at 100% are pretty much worthless. You need 150, 200 increase on their passives nowadays. But look at it this way. What if I added a whole extra set of dupe paths? So that would mean instead of being at the defensive value of plus 4,600, we're talking like plus 8,000 or 9,000 into their defense. That would just add a huge increase into their defense and attack and HP, enough to the point of where you could arguably say they're almost better than a lot of other units. Obviously, you still need dupes, so it's not necessarily free. So, I mean, you can definitely just make a summon pool for that and just be like, hey, I mean, they already do. they already have summonable like banners for when they easy a unit. So why not give us a reason to summon for them? More dupes, increase their effectiveness, give them maybe, let's be real here. How many extra pieces of bronze and silver and gold equipment do you have? You probably have a lot. There's probably a bunch of random like level 1s, level 2s, level 3s. Why not increase the amount of bronze and silver equipment at least? I understand not wanting to give like gold equipment slots. That I understand completely. But let's say that we go off of the extra hidden potential routes. So if you get one extra dupe, let them have an extra bronze slot. That adds either like extra defense, attack, HP, whatever the bronze equip you have, or it can give them extra crit, dodge, etc., etc. That little bits do go a long way, and I really feel like that would be something that they could really do to change it. But that is something that's just at the top of my head. The first thing that comes to mind. They really need to change a lot about Extreme Z Awakenings, especially with like sub EZAs. Sub EZAs are pretty much worthless. I'll be honest here. I still have not awakened the Realm of God, the Resurrection of F, Super Saiyan Blue Vegetas, because they're sub EZAs and it requires stamina to burn to get the medals again. I don't see any reason to grind for that. They're absolutely worthless. Maybe the AGL and STR1 are okay to use, but I'm a player that's gone through all the content in the game already. I've literally done all the content. It's all done. The only thing I'm waiting for is more stuff to come out. I'm waiting to get a chance at another unit I'm missing. I have absolutely no bloody reason to have those units because they're not helping me with anything. They're not doing anything for me, and they're not even good in most of the standard difficult content right now. So I don't see a reason to grind for them. It's just a waste of stamina. I'd rather link level. Give me a reason to play this game other than to link level with the EZAs. They need to give us actual EZA of like stages to go through the sub EZAs. There's no reason to actually go through the sub EZAs. Otherwise, most of the sub EZAs are usually pretty bad. They're there to just say, hey, here's this old unit. We'll make it kind of relevant again. Doesn't mean it's going to save you or anything. There's a very, very bad balance of units right now in how the way the content is of the game. And I think it's because they're terrified of newer players coming in and getting these sub EZAs done, and it just ruining the difficulty of the game. But the truth is it's not ruining the difficulty of the game. It's just expanding it. So you want more variety. You want players to have variety. This game makes over $1 billion a year. In my opinion, there's zero excuse to have this lacking of features. But yeah, give us more stages for stones. Maybe even just give us less stages to waste our time in. Especially if you're not going to give us the sub EZA medals for free, or you're not going to give it its own stage. Make it so we don't have to go through so many. I shouldn't have to burn through freaking 200 stamina just to get enough EZA medals for one unit that I'm not even ever going to use again. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. We stuck on the EZA topic. I know a lot of people want better EZAs. I know they don't want the 30 stages anymore. They want the 10 stages only. I want whatever gives us more Dragon Stones. I want whatever is going to give us more usage out of the units. So let's move on from the EZAs as one of the primary ones. I would say the next one personally is hidden potential differences. But we already kind of went over hidden potential on that last topic of EZAs and how to fix them. The next biggest topic I would say would probably be red zone limits. It's probably not the biggest thing that people are complaining about. I would say the friend system is a lot more of an issue, but let's go over the red zone thing. Red zone limits are ridiculous. It's the same thing I was just saying before. Give us a reason to go and play the game more. Why? I don't understand why we have these limits of 3 tries on the Broly run, but the Red Ribbon Red Zone and the Dismal Feature Red Zone are all 5 tries. And even the Dragon Ball Heroes Red Zone that we had last year was 5 tries. Actually, I think it was unlimited. It might have been unlimited. But either way, I mean, just what's the point? Why not increase that 3 to 5? Why not increase that 5 to 10? You know, you either need to give us a lot more tries or you need to just make it unlimited, because the only reason people play this game, that, you know, after they've collected everything, after they've summoned for everything, after they've worked up all these units, is that they're just sitting there doing nothing, because they've already used up all their red zone tries. They've already used up all of their stamina, link leveling. I mean, I was just watching Water Buffalo stream last night, and he's like, I've ran out of stages to go through. I don't know what to do, guys. We're almost out of red zone stages. What else can I do? It's like, well, you burnt all your stamina. Well, you burnt through all your tries on red zone. What else is there to do? There's not much else to do, unfortunately. And that's the problem that they really need to think about. They need to think about, what is it our players can do when they have no stamina? And it shouldn't be to just sit there and do nothing. They should have a reason to play this freaking game when we have nothing else to do. There should be a reason, and that should be to use the units, to have fun with the game. It's a constant cycle that they should allow us to go through. And I don't think they realize just how much of that is a killer to the game. There's a lot of people that love to just run random sets of units just to test them out. You know, we have so many units in the game, and we have over 500 units in this freaking game. We want to use them. You know, we want to test them out, challenge runs, etc., etc. If they took any time at all to look into the YouTube scene, into the streaming, all of the players, all of the big names, they know for a fact players want to have challenging runs. They want to run these ridiculous teams. They want to have this content to run through. Limiting the player is just stupid. It's just absolutely stupid. Not to mention the fact that we don't even have any like substantial rewards for doing any of these. So there is no reason to limit. That's my issue. You know, I would understand, be like, hey, if you want to run this red zone stage more than the 5 tries for something specific. So let's say that you have a mission that you want to do. You got to do superheroes or something, you know, superhero mission. If you burn through all your tries, you can go back in, you can play, you can beat the boss. You will get no rewards, though. No rewards. I think that would be a very substantial thing to go about. You know, it would kind of suck. You know, somebody goes through like 10 tries with their superhero team, and, you know, they ran out of their quote unquote tries to redeem rewards, which would be missions. And they would probably be irritated. But the point is like, it would also give us the ability to go through it again. I don't think that's the best answer. I'm just saying that is a possible answer. We need to they need to give us a reason to go back and play. They really do. They really do. So let's jump the red zone issue, and let's go over to friend system issues. There are so many friend system. Oh my god. I gotta have almost a moment of silence for the absurdity that it is of how many issues there is with the friend system. There is just so many issues with the friend system. The friend system, let's start off with probably one of the biggest ones. There is not enough room for friends. This game is 8 years old, going on 9 years old. Why can I only have 100 friends? Why? Why is there no guilds? There's no guild system. There's no group buddy system. Why? Do you not think that we haven't been playing this game with like random people already as it is? I can tell you right now, if they made a guild system tomorrow, everyone would jump on that. Everyone would be super happy. Everyone would lose their crap, because everyone's gonna be like, hey, Truth, can I hop into your guild? I mean, think about it. What if we had guild systems and people could join the guilds and get like extra zenny, or perhaps even extra medals for like completing events? you know? Like, there's a lot of possibilities with a guild system for friends that would be just so amazing. Like, you could have, instead of using a friend unit, you use a guild friend. You use a guild friend and you get guild points. There's so much realm of possibility to a guild system that it just boggles my mind after almost 9 years of this game that they haven't thought, hey, why don't we do this? Every other mobile game does this. Every other mobile game almost does this. It's absolutely ridiculous that they haven't had this yet. I don't understand why. Couldn't tell you why. Don't know why. Makes no sense. We need more friend slots. Let's see here. What else do we need? We need more choices. So, like, there's lots of free to play stuff. Like, you go to a EZA fight or not an EZA fight, but a prime battle fight, or yes, even an EZA fight. There are specific units you want to bring into them because they have type effectiveness or they have category effectiveness. Why can't I make a unit specific to be putting with that unit? You know, why can't I, like, let me go pop up my game real quick here and go over to Z Battle here. So for like the new LR Rose, you know, I mean, he has category effectiveness with Vegeta's family. You know, why is it that I can't put like Sword of Hope Trunks as the primary leader for that for people to use when they go to that? Why is it I can't put like LR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta specific to that event to actually get for people to do? Why is it that I can't have that option? Because it just would be so much better for the players. I mean, I understand that the friend system already kind of does that. You know, a big player like one of the higher rated players or whatever gets stuck as a permanent guest system. Almost, it's like a permanent guest friend, and that's their fix to the problem. But in my opinion, I think it would just actively make it much more better and exciting, because there are new units that come out all the time. And sometimes you'll go through some newer players will go through these older events and they won't find a single freaking friend because nobody's finished it in God knows how long. I think it would be very beneficial for players to be able to go through all of that. I mean, yes, it would take a long time, obviously, but I think it would be very beneficial to be able to like actively change your friend specific to the event. For instance, like the Extreme Z Battle for the family Kamehameha units. Newer players can probably go into that with a standard kind of team. I mean, I've run some weird ones with like Z Broly and such, but then there's a lot of people that'll just go in straight movie bosses and they'll run LR Cooler and so forth. There's a whole bunch of random teams you can use for that one because the effectiveness is movie bosses. So, but my point is like, give us more options to give our friends more options. You know, it just helps the whole player base when you give people more options for a friend for help, you know? Oh, I am so sorry. So the other thing I wanted to probably add to the friend system is probably a better filter. So usually when you go to an event, you go to the event, you try to start it, you look for a friend. They often give a standard option. So once again, if I go to the family Kamehameha Extreme Z Battle, it'll default whatever probably the average most used unit was, or the best unit for that was. And that would probably be like Final Form Cooler or AGL Turles. But what if I want it to be, I don't know, the new Fizz Turles on Global? What if I want that? What if I want that? You know, most people are just going to go into there. They'll select extreme class. They'll select physical class, and then they'll go over to like pure Saiyans or movie bosses, and then they'll try to look for the friend. Okay, let's go a step further. Let me choose a filter for link levels. Please. Please let me choose a filter for the link levels, because there's units that rock big bad bosses and link level 1 is not acceptable. No, I am sorry. No, Big Bad Bosses Link level 1 is not acceptable. Not at all. Not in any form of challenging content. In fact, most of the players that have their Turles up for a Big Bad that don't have it Link leveled, I want you to just take it down. I look through some of these units and I see rainbow stat Fizz Turleses that are Link level 1. And I'm like, that's pointless. A Link level 10 55% physical Turles is more useful than your rainbow Link level 1 Turles. I'm sorry. That's the truth. That is the pure and unadulterated truth right there. Because if you don't have Big Bad Bosses Link level 10, you can't use Big Bad Bosses unless you're like below 50% health. And it's just absolutely not going to happen almost ever. And not to mention all the other links are just all super low. You're not even getting the maximum value out of it, you know? So please let us filter the bloody link levels on a unit, because that would just help immensely. It really would. You could even say put in a filter for units that have less than, say, 10 dodge. You know, there are some units that you just straight up should build full dodge, full additional, full crit, whatever. Some of those units absolutely need to have that. Like with Turles, I would say he is probably more of a dodge kind of crit person. Personally, I would rather put crit into him, but I know majority of player base is going to be like, no, you should go additional and dodge. Okay, well, what if I want a Turles that has at least 20 dodge, or I want a Turles that has at least 15 additional? You know, let me siphon through that. Let me filter that. Let me filter that specifically, because that would just be so helpful to filter out the link levels alone. It would help so much. It really would. And it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Never is. But please give us mirror friends. Let us just use our own leader just mirror our own leader. Please, for the love of all that is Dokkan. I don't care if you got to take away all of the Zeni from the stage or the items from the stage. Just let us mirror so that we can enjoy the stage at least. At the very least. It definitely doesn't fix the problem. Because, like, if you go into an easy A fight and you're using a mirror friend and you can't actually get any of the the Kais out of it, you're kind of wasting your time going into it. But, you know, with, like, red zone stages, we don't get any rewards anyways as it stands. So why not just let us mirror our own friends? Probably too much thought. But I digress. So let's move on to probably one of two. Okay, two more. I'm gonna have two more things I would recommend asking the devs to change. And the next topic is going to be free-to-play units. Free-to-play units is a little bit more of a touchy subject. You have Dokkan tubers like JFanta that absolutely finds a way to just destroy stages with just such minimal units, and it boggles my mind that he can do it. You know, kudos to him. But not everybody can do that. Let's give an example once again for global anyways. We just got the awakening for the free-to-play STR Turles. This Turles is pretty much worthless. He does have a decent little bit of amount of defense, but I mean, he's never hitting above, I don't know, 300k defense. I mean, really, what year is it? In what year was 300k suitable? 300k defense was not good enough for the last 3 years. I want to say 3 years. It's been at least 3 years since 300k has been suitable. It's not suitable. It's not. So why are you giving us these free-to-play units that have literally no use to the game other than they're just kind of there? I mean, I understand chain battle is a thing, and a lot of people do go hard on chain battle because of, I guess, sticker rewards. I don't know. There's not much of a reason to care about the sticker rewards for chain battle, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, I just it's really rough when it comes to free to play units. We need better options for free to play units. In my opinion, free to play units should be able to be at least suitable stand-ins. They have to be stand-in units. So, in my opinion, the STR Turles, I'm not expecting him to be a replacement to any of the Turleses necessarily, but I would like it if he could have been on the team. He's actually got a decent animation. What they could have done, instead of just turning him into some weird, like, subpar 2018 freaking unit, is that they could have made him a supportive unit. Give him all freaking, I don't know, what is, like, give all space traveling warriors like plus even 10% attack and defense. Something. Give him dodge chance. Give him guard. He's already such a tiny unit. Guard's not going to save you all the time. Guard is nice. Guard is preferred. But I mean, if you gave this Turles 400k defense and guard, he's not going to survive everything in the game. He's not going to survive all the dismal future red zones. No, but it'll be suitable enough that he can pretty much take normals and he can survive. And that's what we need. That's what newer players need too, is survivability. I mean, give us a reason to use these units. If you're not going to give us all that, then you need to at least up the ante on the damage that they can potentially do. Give us something from their kit. I mean, Turles he wears a scouter. Give us a scouter ability, like something, absolutely something. There's got to be some reason to use these units. And I mean, the utility of most of these free to play units is, if I'm going to be honest, well, garbage, nothing. They don't have any utility. They don't have any purpose to the game other than to complete other free to play points of the events in the game. And that's just not good enough. We need better potential. I mean, let's go back to the hidden potential topic. Let free to play units have more hidden potential routes. Why not? Why not? We can farm all of the freaking the dupes. We can farm the dupes. I mean, why not? Why is it that a free to play unit can't have 8 dupe paths? They already have a much lower maximum value of freaking hidden potential. They're already at like 3,000 on average. When, I mean, a 55% normal summonable unit is 2,000. 1 dupe, and they already have more stats than a free to play unit. It just doesn't make any sense to not give the free to play units more options for the player to mess around with. It just doesn't make any sense. Free to play units are just an excuse to be lazy so far, and I think they're just wasting the potential that a free to play unit could utilize. So, one more topic, and I think we're gonna end the podcast after this, and then you can surmise what you think you should be throwing into the surveys. But the next thing is probably, it's a controversial one. It's not going to happen. It's something I would like, what everyone would like. Something to grind Dragonstones. Let's be real here. There's a lot of people that love to do singles every day. I don't know why. I hate single summoning. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Ever since they introduced the system of every time you multi, you get an SSR at the end, I never wanted to do singles again. I didn't see a purpose. And I still don't think there's a purpose to single summoning other than the fact that you're a free to player and it doesn't matter either way to you. So, I mean, capitalize on that. Give a reason. What's the reason? Grinding. I would say a Dragonstone mining stage would be very good. Once per day, or not once per day, a maximum value of 5 stones per day. That would just go super far. So, I mean, most of the time, if you go to your mission tab and then you go to your daily, you have a daily set of stuff you can get. And usually that's literally 1 stone. 1 stone. That's stupid. That's stupid. One Dragonstone has zero value. It is almost zero value. At the end of the week, Monday to Friday, you could have enough for a whole single. You could get a whole single after a week. Absolutely ridiculous. The rates are already stupidly low. There's no reason to cap players. Here's the idea, guys. If you're gonna treat it as a gambling addiction, like they already do, it's a gacha game. Get over it. You have a gambling problem if you play a gacha game on the regular and put money into it. You have a gambling problem. Entice the gambling problem. Push it. I mean, it's already there. You might as well. So make it so people can get 5 stones a day. Do it for only Monday through Friday. If you do it through only Monday through Friday, that's 5, 10, 15, 20. That's a maximum of 20 stones a month. That's not a lot. 20 stones isn't a lot. After 2.5 months, you could have enough to do a multi. Woo. It wouldn't be a lot, but it would give players something else to do with their stamina. It would give them a reason to keep playing the game more. It would make them happy. I mean, it would be almost nothing out of their pocket. It would give players another reason to keep playing every day. It would boost morale. There's no reason not to. I don't see any reason not to do that. I really don't, because at the end of the day, one free multi after 2.5 months, that's like nothing. That's just nothing. So what they give away? Let's just go with actual math here. So there's 12 months in a year. So you could get probably 6 multis, 6 or 7 free multis in a year. If they think that's a lot and they think that they're losing money off of that, they're wrong. In the long run, that's actually giving people more reason to play the game, more reason to want to buy more stones, because then they'll be closer to actually getting a multi at certain points, and they'll be like, oh, maybe I should just buy this pack, hire me, Akatsuki. Because I mean, these are free freaking ideas to entice your players to play this game more and put more money into it. I mean, there's got to be something that would just be better to do than to just let players sit there and do nothing, because that's what everyone's feeling like after the worldwide download celebration is over. Is like, there's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do. I mean, truthfully, there's really nothing else to do other than link level grind. And I mean, if you're going to do this to your players, at least make something of it. Just do something. You make $1 billion every year. You can give us a new stage to get us to keep playing every day. So, but I think that's going to be it for the podcast, guys. These are just my ideas of what you could put into the player survey. I mean, we have all these difficult contents aside from Divine Wrath and Mortal Will, which is just almost blindly unfair in some degrees. Red Zone should not have these limits. Red Zone doesn't need limits. Name changes need to happen for certain units, like Merge Zamasu. Easy A increases, more stages, freaking more dupe paths. All of these things can help those. More friends in the friend system. Give us a guild system. Mirror friends. I mean, make the free to play units worth it. All of these things you can put into the player survey, and I really hope you put it bluntly. Like, if you're going to put any of these things in here into the player survey we're going to get this week, I would suggest doing it in the most plain and simple way as possible, because we do have a global side, quote unquote, but more than likely, I'd say probably most of the surveys are going to the Japanese side. So make it so they can like auto translate this, name change, literally put in unit name change. Remove same name change, put it bluntly and like just act like they're a child almost. Try to put it in blunt, big, easy words for them to obviously understand. Easy A revamps, easy A modification. That will probably pop up very easily on a translator of some form. More dupe more duplicate hidden potential paths. Something like that. Remove limits red zone. Red zone, remove limits. There's a whole bunch of ways you can put all these possible things that you would want changed in the system. More friend space. All these things would definitely help out. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for the podcast now. What are your ideas on what you would want changed for Dokkan Battle for the better? For the better, obviously. Remember, they do listen to a degree. They really do listen. It's probably not a lot. They probably don't listen an immense amount, like they're not going to, say change every single thing everyone puts in there. But I would say a very large majority of things, like possibly the red zone limit could be removed. I would definitely say the name change is possible. Not likely, but it is definitely possible. And I would definitely say even just saying that you want friend system changes would make them think about all these other possibilities that they could do to help fix the friend system. Put it very simple, put it very easy, but let me know what you guys are wanting to change in Dokkan Battle. So anyways, guys, thanks for listening and watching, and have a good day and a good night.